I'd like to greet all human beings all around the world with a universal greetings of peace and the blessings of God be with you. It doesn't matter what your political, philosophical, personal, nor religious beliefs may be. It doesn't matter if you to proclaim riches to the proclaim poorest, a homeless person on the face of this earth. It doesn't even matter whether you the proclaim toughest to the proclaim weakest person on the face of this earth. It doesn't matter if you dark-skinned or light-skinned. It doesn't matter if you like me or don't like me, or whether you like or don't like my YouTube videos, whether you like what I say or don't like what I say. It doesn't matter if you my family, friends, or my proclaimed enemies. I greet all of you all with the same universal greetings of peace and the blessings of God be with you. Tonight happened to be Saturday, October the 12th, 2019. The time being about 7:44 p.m. Tonight I just want to try to talk again about unity among blacks. You see, all blacks don't want unity among blacks. And I can tell that by some of the comments and some of the individual dislikes of my YouTube video. Anytime somebody dislike something when you talking about unity in the black community, you talking about exposing white supremacists that's trying to bring chaos within the black community, or expose blacks that's infiltrating, perpetrating the black community and misusing them, and they push a dislike, then you know they either have to be a white supremacist or somebody that's black or person of color that don't like unity among the community. But to each his own. You see, no matter if they push like or dislike, I'm going to still do what God asked me to do. God sent Malcolm X. God sent Martin Luther King. God sent Nelson Mandela. God sent Rosa Parks. God sent Harriet Tubman. And I can go on and on. In Chicago in the 80s when I was working on the ambulance, God sent Harold Washington. You see what I'm saying? He didn't send these individuals and more positive individuals in to uplift the black communities, but he didn't just send them to uplift. He sent them to show you and me and anybody else that want peace and harmony in the black community, instead of this blacks shooting blacks, blacks killing blacks, blacks gang banging against blacks, blacks selling dope against blacks, blacks pimping on our black sisters, blacks up under the pulpit misusing the congregation. But God sent them to lead by example, not just point a person in a direction. Anybody can point you and say, this is the way. But you see, a true leader is not going to just point you in the direction. A true leader going to make sacrifices. I made sacrifices 23 years down here in Charleston, Missouri. Don't regret now one of them. Even though blacks turned against me, even though blacks tried to get me a part of a circle that's selling out the black community, I wouldn't do it. I had an opportunity to do it. You see what I'm saying? But I can't sit in a circle with Ku Klux Klans that's plotting to hang people like Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Nelson Mandela, Rosa Parks. People at that status, they trying to hang, and they sitting at the table with these black individuals that you call your leaders. You see what I'm saying? One thing about God, people, they can see just like an X-ray. An MRI can see things that the naked eye can't see. You see what I'm saying? God give people that he sends, calling sin, he gives them a spirit of discernment. Spirit of discernment would tell you the false prophet or the perpetrator, the infiltrator, the agitator that's in your circle. But let me just say this here. Today I went to a homegoing in not the city or the state that my mother was born in, but it was the city and the state that my mother was raised in, and that was Bell City, Missouri. I went to a homegoing of a brother that God lived to see 68 years old. In December, he would have been 69. I knew his family and my mother and my cousins on my mother's side. They knew the generation of their family because they grew up here. I grew up in Chicago. That makes me no better than anybody else. But this young man that died, and they had his home going today, his name was, let me get it right now. His last name was Pullen. But anyway, he served in the military. He had 5 degrees, come out of Southeast Missouri now with 5 degrees, 3 associate degrees, one bachelor's degree and 1 master's degree. He left Southeast Missouri and went to Atlanta, to Georgia, some part of Georgia, and he taught in the school. He was a prime example that not just pointed a person in the direction, but he led the way. I got a chance to meet his daughter, made a YouTube video today of her singing, met his son, and met some of the other people in the family that I didn't know as far as with the Pullens, a well-known name in Southeast Missouri. But what I want to show you is, I seen something there during the preaching. I knew the preacher, Elijah Pullen. Met him when I first come down through my grandmother. May she rest in peace. But when he was sitting there preaching, I could see the unity that they had when they was coming up. It reminded me of my grandfather, my daddy's daddy. Came from Arkansas to Charleston, Missouri. Lived on a farm in the country. Raised my 4 aunties and my daddy and his 5 other brothers. 10 children now. He was a sharecropper. He grew cotton. That's how he paid for what he was living at with my uncles and aunties and my daddy and my grandmother. But the Pullens, they showing that they family continuing to live on like that. Some families break apart. You see, what we don't realize is each individual has a duty here on earth that God sent them to do. Within each one of these individuals, you have kings and queens. You see, in England, it's a whole different concept when you talk about queen. But you know, when we talk about kings in the black community, we're talking about tribes. You see, when we had real tribes, kings in these tribes, you know, they didn't go and do drive-bys against each other. They didn't sell each other dope. You see what I'm saying? They didn't kill each other because they had on a certain color. Tribes, they respected each other. When it was a conflict, they settled it in a manner where it wasn't finna be a bunch of murders. What we got to think about now, if you have a bunch of leaders in the black community that have been leading these black communities for decades, 10, 20, 30 years, and there's no change, there's no progress. You see what I'm saying? There's no progress as far as the community in the whole, but the only progress is being made is these leaders. Then you got a problem. If that leader is considered the leader of your tribe, then you need to get rid of him. You see what I'm saying? He's worse than Donald Trump. He's worse than the Ku Klux Klan. He's worse than these police out here that's killing blacks for no reason at all. Saying that they're afraid of them. Thought they had a gun. Thought they had something in their hand. You see what I'm saying? But what we got to do is, we got to end up putting the right leaders in the right place. You see, you got a black police chief in Chicago, superintendent in Chicago, you got a black mayor. Ain't nothing changed. You had a black president for 18 years. You had a black president for 8 years, 2 terms. Wasn't no change. You see what I'm saying? You know why it wasn't no change? Because we look at color and we look at parties, Democrat and Republicans. Now you got an independent and a Tea Party. You got to look at who gonna do what for the community. You got a lot of people that want to do stuff for these communities, black communities, and get these tribes back in order. But you can't get it back in order if a people gonna stay silent. A silent voice can't be heard. A closed mouth can't be fed. And at some time, when God sends somebody to a foreign land, or a city that they're not from, or a state that they're not from, to try to uplift a fallen people, and they don't listen, and they don't stand up, and they study worship these same black individuals, they study be afraid of these same white individuals, then you're going to be left behind. You see, if this city had public transportation here in Charleston, Missouri, I truly believe they would have a law that blacks would have to go to the back of the bus. Me and my children and my 91-year-old daddy wouldn't do it. We'll be locked up. I'm going to leave you with this. If you want to change, you got to stand up. Tracy Chapman said, talking about a revolution. A revolution ain't got to always be bloodbath. A revolution is just like these people talking about they want women's rights. Black women and white women, they get together. But then when we talk about stopping violence in the black community, you ain't going to see all these nationalities coming together. You see what I'm saying? You have some that stand with us, but you ain't going to see a lot of them standing with us. The only way we going to get this here back together, get peace back in the community, get unity back in the community, stop allowing people to silence a voice like Malcolm X. Stop letting people silence voices like Martin Luther King, Nelson Mandela. Stop letting them kill people like Harold Washington. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I'm going to leave soon. I've been saying it, and I am. Just got to wait till God fix this other kingdom up for us. Me and my 2 children and my daddy. And then what I'll just say, may God have peace and blessings here in Charleston, Missouri. Hey now.
How you doing, sir?
Oh, best by the best. How about yourself?
I'm loving it.
All right. I'm trying to get that unity back.
I'm loving it.
All right. But we're going to end it like this here. Black folks, wake up. Stop killing each other for nothing. If ain't nobody trying to break in your house or trying to rob and kill you, stop killing these people for nothing. Stop letting somebody else tell you to kill somebody because somebody done killed a person in their family. Peace be still.